Hello, Fightful Faithful. Welcome to another episode of SOUR GRAPS. It's the Go Home show for TLC. My stupid Christmas lights, they don't work. I bought them like 2 weeks ago. So I'm not in the Christmas spirit. Also, if Michael Cole tells me that tables and ladders and chairs are legal, they're legal, so you could use them. Think of the possibilities, says Michael Cole. He does that one more time, I'm going to lose it. I'm going to lose it, man. Yes, we didn't think you named the pay-per-view TLC after the beloved 90s R&B trio. We know it's tables and ladders and chairs. Stop it! Anyway, I finished watching this episode of SmackDown like 45 minutes ago, and I can't remember anything that happened on it. Except for one thing. We'll talk about that. Something awesome. But yeah, man. Whoo-wee. Go home. Okay. I'm gonna get me a updated card for TLC. Maybe I'll pad the runtime of this thing with little predictions. Won't that be good? That'll be fun. Boy, oh boy. Let's see here. No, that's from days ago. When's this? All right. Fine. Here we go. So the show SmackDown started out with Corbin and Ziggler coming down to the ring and talking about how they put dog food on the big dog because he's the big dog and dogs eat dog food. So they were really clever and they put the dog food on the big dog. Morons. At one point, the crowd starts chanting, "You look stupid," at King Corbin. So that's my hometown, people. That's what we got. Yeah, I don't know. I did think it was kind of funny since I don't know if they were talking about the guy in the King costume or Dolph Ziggler, who also looked stupid because he was wearing the same outfit from before when I said he looked like he sells OxyContin out of the back of his Trans Am. I was a Firebird. I'm not sure I said it was. In Daytona Beach. You got the glasses and he's got the hat. He's still wearing the SmackDown hat because he hasn't gone shopping since Survivor Series. And the jacket and the acid wash jeans and the I can't wait for this to be over. So yeah, they say it's a dawn of a new day, and I was like, oh, gee, that was really conspicuous. The fact that Corbin would use that phrase, dawn of a new day, when that doesn't seem like something that would be normally in his lexicon of things that he would normally say. Not the lexicon of Le Champion, not that guy. No. But Corbin. And sure enough, the New Day comes out and they bicker back and forth about how Corbin says, hey, it's a magic trick that made your title reign disappear when Lesnar beat you in 7 seconds, and Kofi Kingston's like, actually, it was more like 8 seconds. I actually think it was more like 6 seconds, but who's counting? I wish that that Kofi had said something more clever than, quibbling about the time. He should have said, well, I'm pretty sure I kept my title for longer than you kept the Money in the Bank briefcase. What was up with that? That was the worst cash in ever, huh? Not counting Damian Sandow, but he probably wouldn't have said that. So yeah, Kingston and Big E got in the ring. And then Corbin said something else about Kofi, whatever. And then Kofi slapped him. So, gee, I wonder if we're going to get that match later. Also, there's a lot of security all over the building because Roman Reigns, the big dog, has been unchained. I guess they could have said unleashed, but they said unchained. And they said it 100 times tonight, in case you didn't know what the deal was with that. I guess that's a thing that he is now. He's unchained. So good for Roman being unchained. As I fish my phone out of my pocket and make sure it is not on silent. Now it is. So let's proceed with this obviously very haphazard episode of Sour Graps, where everything sucks. So later on, they announced we're going to have a Kofi Kingston versus Baron Corbin main event. That'll be fun when we get to that. I wonder if they'll stop it in the middle and make it into a tag match. I wonder. I don't know. But we'll see. We'll see. Just kidding. Spoiler alert, they did that. Anyway, so we get Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville are in the ring after the break. They got jobber entrances, and Nikki Cross and Alexa Bliss get interviewed backstage about how they're best friends and they hate Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville. And apparently, while they were interviewing them in Gorilla, Sonya Deville and Mandy Rose ran up the ramp and backstage and beat them up and then took them down to the ring. And then they had a match in which Sonya Deville was pinned by Nikki Cross, and it doesn't really matter because nothing matters. I still can't figure out I don't think they announced Bayley defending her title against Lacey Evans. I don't think they announced that because I'm pretty sure they want Lacey to beat Sasha first before she faces Bayley. So as far as I know, there's only one women's match at TLC. It's the big TLC tag match between Asuka and Kairi Sane versus Charlotte Flair and Becky Lynch. So listen, they have 4 of their top 6 women on the roster wrestling in one match. That's good. But the other show should have a women's match on the card if they don't. If they do, disregard all this, but pretty sure they didn't say that. Anyway. Yeah. So, yeah, Nikki Cross pins Sonya Deville, and that's it. So we're just going to have this non-title tag feud between, one of the best talkers in the women's division, Alexa Bliss, and her scrappy, insane friend, Nikki Cross, versus the Fire and Desire tag team, Sonya Deville, who's legitimately one of the better fighters of the women and who's just forever mired in nothingness because she decides she wants to wear a pride flag in her back pocket to every match, which I think is awesome that she does that. But I'm wondering if that holds her back in Vince's eyes. I wonder. Somebody should talk to him about how pushing Sonya Deville would bring in a whole new audience. There are a lot of people actually who are gay, LGBT, who watch WWE and would love to see somebody that they identify with pushed. And those people, if you were pushing Sonya Deville, would talk to some of their friends who don't watch wrestling and say, you should watch it now. It's important. We're doing something good for the community or whatever. Or not. Do whatever you want. This is me being like resigning to the fact that it'll never get better. I want to say something. A lot of people I still get flack for why do you hate everything? Why do you hate everything? I want it to be better. I get very angry when lowest common denominator lazy bullshit passes for that's not what this should be. This is the billionaire runs this corporation. It's a multi-million-dollar corporation. You have all kinds of money. Lord knows you're not paying your wrestlers enough. So pay your writers, and maybe the 74-year-old steroid brain old man shouldn't be in charge of everything. So that's my thing. I want it to be better. It doesn't need to be perfect, but it should be consistently good. It's the biggest wrestling company in the world. All the best wrestlers in the world wrestle there. I mean, not all of them, but I would say, what, 75% of the best wrestlers in the world at least want to be a part of WWE because it was something they grew up watching. And the fact that it hasn't improved exponentially since the time they grew up watching it is sad. Yeah. I suppose I could do what other people tell me to do, which is stop watching WWE. But I mean, I get paid to have my own show talking about it, so I'm going to keep doing that. But also, I'm kind of invested in a lot of these people, and I want to see them do well. I want to see the good people rewarded. I want it to be a meritocracy, even if it's never going to be, or if it is, it'll be when my daughter has kids of her own, and hopefully she forbids them from getting into this thing and watching it. Anyway, what happened? So yeah, the next thing is that they mentioned this. Otis Dozovich, guys, they got rid of his last name a long time ago, but they used to call him Big Dozer, and that was a really cool name. You gave him the fake last name of Dozovich so that he could be called Big Dozer, like he's a bulldozer. He's a squat, big, powerful thing that moves stuff. Yeah, that's who he is. And Vince got a hold and said, nope, get rid of that. Otis. I think you can call him Otis, but also it's a great nickname, the Big Dozer. Anyway, he's got a Secret Santa gift. He got Sami Zayn, the old Secret Santa there, and he got him a giant Christmas ham. Now, Sami Zayn says it's the worst gift he could have ever gotten because he's a vegan. But I mean, I don't know if he's still practicing, but he grew up Muslim and they don't like the pork. So maybe that's something also. But let's not bring that in. I mean, they want him to be hated by most people, but not that hated. Let's not bring that up. Anyway, yeah, Otis apologized, but Zayn did not accept his apology and called Otis a big oaf. And then that made him mad. And then Shinsuke Nakamura Cesaro showed up, and everybody left except Cesaro threw the ham on the floor, and that made Otis angry. Otis is from Wisconsin. Milwaukee is in Wisconsin. They mention he's from Superior, Wisconsin, which is not near Milwaukee, but same state, whatever, who cares? Later in the night, they wore cheese heads to the ring, so they're okay in the book of most people who live in Wisconsin. Yeah, Warren Hayes on the Twitter says that he's over wherever he goes. And I'm like, yeah, I mean, he is. But to be fair, he's from Wisconsin. There's a reason why he's over here. That makes sense to me. But it doesn't account for why he's over everywhere else. Yeah, we'll talk for us in a little bit about somebody else who was conspicuously absent from the show tonight, who might not have gotten over as easily, and I don't know why I'm pointing everywhere. But as I continue to point, my point is with this next thing: can the Revival only wrestle Shorty G and Mustafa Ali? I mean, I know they have the ladder match versus the New Day on Sunday, but after that, I want them to only wrestle Gable and Ali for the rest of the time that they are in WWE before they leave. Because after they leave, I'll never get to see them, wrestle Mustafa Ali and Chad Gable anymore. And this is how you know that Chad Gable and Mustafa Ali are otherworldly talents who deserve so much more than cruiserweight with a lot of heart, and guy who is mocked incessantly for being tiny. Like they deserve to be at least intercontinental title picture types, if not higher than that. And the reason that you know how talented they are is because you watch them wrestle tonight in their first real showcase as a tag team, in a real tag match, not an elimination dealy thing, not something leading up to Sands of Time when they were part of Team Hogan, not something leading up to Survivor Series. Now they're a real tag team. Now they're actually getting matches 2-on-2 against the best tag team in the world, the Revival. And Ali and Gable came up with all these awesome things to do as a tag team. Like they did one last week. It was pretty awesome. There was this Chaos Theory rolling German suplex, and then Ali had made the blind tag, and he jumps in and does like a sunset flip to like continue the jackknife cover, which almost got a 3 count. That was really nice. And then tonight they're doing tandem dives. Gable runs off the apron and does a front flip cannonball, and at the same time, Ali does a somersault senton over the so Gable's doing this, jumping like this, and at the same time across him, Ali is jumping over him. Like it's perfectly timed, brilliantly done. And then they have another one where it's I believe it's a backdrop that also is helped by a double stomp off the top rope by Ali. That was really great. Those guys are doing really good work together. There was a fun, really great sequence they did with the Revival, who are obviously really like these guys, think they're brilliant, and want to make them into a thing before they leave. It feels obvious to me that the Revival are trying to put these guys over a little bit at a time, because they had this amazing spot where it was the rolling German suplex Chaos Theory, broken up by Dash Wilder jumping off the top rope, followed by Mustafa Ali hitting the 450 splash on Wilder, and then all 4 men laid out in the middle of the ring. And there was like they were in. They were like my people in Milwaukee super into a tag match that has nothing behind it. No, there's no stakes. Doesn't matter. These aren't. This is not a top contenders match. Nothing. I mean, the Revival have their title match later, but it's not like if Mustafa Ali and Chad Gable had beaten them, they would have been added into the ladder match. That would have been a cool little wrinkle, because one of the best ever TLC matches was that match from a few years ago where Lucha Dragons and the Usos, and well, I mean, it also featured what were they called? Los Matadores. Whoa, man, that's a blast from the past. Yeah, so they weren't great, but that was a really cool. Everyone remembers the Salida del Sol off the top of the ladder through another ladder. Anyway, Mustafa Ali and Chad Gable worked really, 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 really well together. And they're trying to build some kind of tag division on SmackDown. Obviously, nobody is allowed to have a program with Shinsuke Nakamura for the Intercontinental title. That's just not allowed. He doesn't have singles matches with anybody. I know they were planning on doing a program with him and Braun Strowman. Braun Strowman's got back spasms, which is horribly painful. So I totally understand why they're keeping him out of that. But I don't know if the plan was to put the strap on Strowman. Let's be real. It's not. It's never. Never is the time. Never. The only title belt he will ever win, besides when he's the tag champion, is that Mountain Dew colored belt that he got in Saudi Arabia. Is that that's like in storage, right? He doesn't even have that in a trophy case. Why would you? That's the most ugly thing I've ever seen. It makes his 24/7 title belt look Marvelous. Yeah, this match was awesome. In the match, they came down to again. Last week, Dash had Mustafa Ali's run up to the second rope, jump onto the second turnbuckle, second rope with the turnbuckle, and he jumps back into a tornado DDT. It's a Mustafa Ali staple. He's been doing it for as long as he's been with WWE and probably for years before. So Dash told Dawson, hey, he does this thing. When he does it, be ready. We're going to do the Shatter Machine. And that was a great counter, man. To a flying blind tornado DDT. Hits that. That was awesome. So yeah, I want these guys to only wrestle each other from now on. Thank you. That is my Christmas wish. But yeah, this match was awesome. This is one thing on this show that anybody should go back and watch. It was great. Here's something you shouldn't watch. In backstage interview, Bayley's cutting a promo on Lacey Evans. I guess she's a Marine and a mom, which makes her cool, I guess. But then she says that Sasha's not even here because she's cutting a rap album. That's fine. I don't care what anybody thinks of me. I'm Bayley. And then Elias has decided to serenade Dana Brooke literally 2 feet from where Bayley is having given the interview. It's bad planning, Elias. Bayley doesn't like that he's interrupted her. Elias told Bayley that he got her for Secret Santa, I guess. And so he wrote her a song as his gift. The song is about how Santa wanted to give Elias a threesome with Bayley and Sasha. And he said no because Bayley her face is as scary as the ghost of Christmas past, and B she looks like a dude because the haircut makes her look like a dude, says Elias. We're not supposed to be rooting for this guy, right? This guy who spanked a grown man last week, Drake Maverick, like the kid who's supposed to be a sophomore by now, but got held back twice, like a really, really big, big for the 8th grade kind of guy. Like I had one of those. He got held back in 2nd grade and then again in 5th grade. So by the time he was in 8th grade, he was almost 16. He was 6'2" and had a mustache in the 8th grade. And because life sucked for him, he was mercilessly called stupid behind his back by a lot of kids. And so he would pick out the smallest one that he could find and, do atomic wedgies to him and just horrible stuff. That's basically who Elias is doing to Drake Maverick last week, but without like the sad backstory about how his dad probably beat him at home or was a drunk or whatever. Shout out to that guy. But yeah, no, I don't like this Elias. He's back and he's trying to, I guess, to impress Dana Brooke. Is the whole thing leading up to Elias trying to make a move on Dana Brooke? She's like, no, wait, I'm with Dave now, Dave Batista. And so Dave Batista shows up at WrestleMania and beats the dog crap out of Elias. If that's where we're leading to, good. If he's leading to, you think I should be cheering when Elias is singing a song about how he doesn't want to pork both Bayley and Sasha at once because Bayley looks like a dude because she got a haircut that 90% of moms have. Moms, not dads, moms. I mean, what is this? What is this proving? Man. I missed Elias. I did. I wanted Elias to come back. I was sad that he hurt his ankle and he couldn't come back. I missed him. And I was like, man, I hope when he comes back, he's given something better to do than to be, Shane McMahon's lackey. What they gave him to do was to sing like misogynistic, transphobic bullshit songs and try and get into Dana Brooks' pants. So whatever they gave him is worse than being Shane McMahon's lackey, and that's hard to do. So then Bayley doesn't like that Dana Brooks there sitting there laughing at this stupid thing, and then Bayley beat her. Dana Brooks looked good in the match, but Bayley has a cool new like headlock driver thing where she like hooks the leg and makes sure they can't get away, and that's good. By the way, I don't know if you heard, but Sheamus is coming back, and he's the heart of he's the fired up heart of SmackDown. Everybody else is a wimp and a wuss and a weakling and other W words. Sheamus is coming back, and he's got the same promos on SmackDown that Drew McIntyre has on Raw. Sheamus, show up whenever you do. I'd like to see you wrestle. I hear you've lost a lot of weight. I don't know if your move set is the same or if you're doing now flippy dippies off the top rope, but all that weight you lost, that's great for you. I'm glad you didn't have to retire because you're paralyzed in your neck. I'm glad that's not a thing. I'll be glad to have you back, but you can stop doing these stupid backlit promos. You're saying the exact same thing, but using different words to say it. Now, 3 weeks in a row, and I'm tired of it. Okay? I know I'm going to see it at least 3 more weeks in a row. He probably won't re-debut until the Royal Rumble. So it's like 6 more weeks of these. All right, if we reach double digits of 10 weeks in a row of him doing these things, I will literally find a hair on my head and pull it out. I will pull my hair out if he gets to 10 weeks in a row doing the same promo but using different words to do it. Again, happy you're back. Glad you're not paralyzed. Stop using the same words to tell the promo. There's different words used to tell the same promo over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. This is what I mean when I say it's lazy. Lazy. Is there one particular guy, one particular wuss or weakling or wimp that you've had your eye on? Could you drop hints one at a time over the next 6 weeks of which guy you really want to beat up? So that, you're not just there casting aspersions generally on the whole roster, which doesn't really have any weight to it. Which one guy do you hate the most? At least that'll actually have purpose and drive behind those promos. Anywho, The Miz was so rattled by the Bray Wyatt deal from last week that he's in LA. Did not go to Milwaukee to for the Go Home show for TLC. He's in Milwaukee. He's in LA protecting his wife and his daughters. So he's interviewed by Renee Young, who now lives in Los Angeles, or I think he lives in Vegas, but works in Los Angeles. Whatever, you get the point. And he says, I don't know where Daniel Bryan is, but they did this really great thing. This was the second good thing that they did. The whole segment, not great. This part of the segment, very good. They brought up, why does The Miz care about Daniel Bryan? What does it matter? You hate Daniel Bryan. You've always hated Daniel Bryan. It's like, yeah, I know. I have. And they Ryan, it's like there was this one moment that I was there for on Talking Smack when you had that amazing the thing that I've never seen anybody talk Daniel Bryan like that. And they played clips of that thing edited together. But it remains one of the greatest things I've ever seen on WWE TV. I know that sounds like I'm exaggerating, but at the time, you have to realize, I was writing for Fightful at the time. I was the associate editor. Sean was doing the post SmackDown shows on Tuesdays with Jeff Hawkins, and I was watching. I believe, if I'm remembering this correctly, I think I am. I was watching Talking Smack Live because there's usually a couple of good little nuggets there you could clip out and do a story about. And then this thing happened and the world lit on fire. People were just talking about this Miz promo for days, weeks. It was so great. And so I would be watching it and like sending like a clip of it to Sean, like while he was doing the thing, like, hey, when you get a chance, you got to talk about this thing. God, that was an amazing promo. And it really made me upset that when we finally got a healthy Daniel Bryan back, that the feud they had was mostly about Brie Bella versus Maurice. Like mostly, kind of. It certainly wasn't like the blood feud we should have had between Daniel Bryan and The Miz, like these guys who hated each other. Like that was what I wanted. And so now they played this for him, and he says, yeah, I remember saying all that, and I was really mad at the time. And you're right, I don't like Daniel Bryan, but I respect him. And I was like, that's straight out of Anchorman, isn't it? Like the end of Anchorman, where Vince Vaughn comes up to Will Ferrell and he's like, Ron Burgundy is like, Ron Burgundy, I straight up hate you, but God damn it, do I respect you? That was the Miz. The Miz pulled a Wes Mantooth on live TV. Said it about Daniel Bryan. So Wes Mantooth, alive and well, and he works for the WWE. So they were having the, interview, and he's talking about, he's going to have this match versus Bray Wyatt, not versus The Fiend. That's important. I did not get that last week. I wasn't paying attention. I would just assumed Bray Wyatt only wrestled as The Fiend. The fact that Bray Wyatt is now wrestling means he's beatable, because The Fiend's unbeatable. You can't beat The Fiend. My thought is you could beat Bray Wyatt, but apparently they're doing something different with that, because I don't think the Bray Wyatt's going to lose this match. So my whole thing of like, you can beat Bray Wyatt, but you can't beat The Fiend, that might be out the window. Maybe Bray Wyatt is beatable, but just not by everybody. Whatever. Anywho, I had to take this match, TLC, to protect my family. And then Maurice yells for The Miz. This is where this whole thing goes off the rails. Maurice yells for The Miz. Says, Mike. That's his real name, is Mike. She calls him Mike during their little reality show, Ms. and Mrs. She calls him Mike. So, hey, continuity. That's good. She says, Mike, come in here. And looking at like the baby monitor. And they see their older daughter, Monroe Sky, playing in her crib with the Firefly Funhouse puppets, that appear to be like being operated by somebody else, like they're alive or whatever, at least active, and they're talking. And she's laughing with them, and that's cute and everything. But they look at the monitor for a lot of seconds. Like it felt like a long time to be watching your daughter play with sentient evil puppets for a while. And then they're like, hey, let's drop the baby monitor and run upstairs where our baby is. And they finally get up there and they pull it out of the crib, and the Miz checks the adjoining bathroom, but like, not really. He just pokes his head in there. And then they pulled her out of the crib, right? And when they pull her out of the crib, sitting right next to her is this doll with a fiend face, and they're talking to Monroe, and they're like, hey, so you okay? What happened? I'm gonna check the bathroom. Anybody in the bathroom? No, nobody's in the bathroom. Okay, Monroe, what happened? Meanwhile, there's this doll that looks like it's got the fiend mask on it, sitting there in the crib, and then it takes a while for Maurice to go, hey, what's that? And then the camera pans over. I mean, luckily they had a video crew there because they were shooting this thing. Otherwise, why would they be there? And then they go, hey, there's a doll in the crib that looks like the Fiend. Where did you get this? Where did this come from? Who gave this to you? And Monroe's like, I'm a child. I don't really know what's going on. I'm very small. Why are you yelling, Dad? This is stupid. Get all these people out of my house. And then the Miz says, everybody get out. We're done here. Go away. You're not allowed to be here anymore. I'm very angry. So I guess we're supposed to believe that Bray Wyatt like teleported into the bedroom and gave her a dolly that looked like the Fiend, and he operated the puppets. And I mean, it's all very spooky, but the acting was awful by both Maurice and the Miz, and the Miz is like a movie star. So they oh, but I mentioned that on the baby monitor, it cut to Bray Wyatt on the baby monitor saying, "Let me in," and so I guess he can also teleport himself into baby monitors. Okay, why not? I mean, he's unkillable, so sure. Anyway, so then they go back to Milwaukee, and then Bray Wyatt Firefly Funhouse comes up, and he says, "Oh, Miz, I don't know why you care about Daniel Bryan so much. Why are you trying to ruin my day? Snitches get stitches. I'm gonna prove that to you on Sunday." Also, he says, "I've taught myself how not to feel pain," and this is the important thing, because that's like, really? Then he says, "I'm going to teach you how not to feel love," which is okay. All right. So they are making a deal out of how he changes people for the worse. Like, he fought Finn Balor. Finn Balor went back to being Prince David. I mean, I think it's for the better, but I mean, like, he makes them heels. He turns them evil-ish. And now Seth Rollins is back to being healed. That's very good. That's a good thing, but he's being a bad guy now. We don't like bad guys. So he made Seth Rollins form an alliance with AOP and take out Kevin Owens. Then he, I guess, tore all the hair out of Daniel Bryan, which I guess, I don't know if it made him evil or it made him have shorter hair. And now he's gonna do something to the Miz. I mean, that's the story they're trying to tell at this point. So I don't know if they're gonna make the Miz back into like the cruel asshole dude. And Maurice is like, "Why are you being like this? You've been such a good dad recently." And the Miz is like, "Nah, I don't care about anything now. I've been taught how not to feel love. You understand?" And I think that's gonna be the impetus, maybe him, Miz being healed, because he was really leaning into what a good guy he is now in this interview with Renee Young, like really going like, "Hey, everybody, what a great guy I am. I'm a dad, and I'm a nice man. And while I used to hate Daniel Bryan, now, I respect him." So I think they're going to like do a 180 from that and make him just despicable. He might even punch his own father. I don't know. We'll see. But I think whenever that's going to be the impetus to we're going to get our heel Miz versus babyface Daniel Bryan is going to come out of all of this. Maybe we'll actually have that match at WrestleMania or something. Because Wyatt gives us, Bray Wyatt and The Fiend give us what we want. Prince by God Devitt in NXT having matches with Tommaso Ciampa and Keith Lee and now Adam Cole. That's awesome. Seth Rollins going from being nasally babyface dude to being super heel, teaming with the AOP and getting them over finally. And probably going to have awesome matches with a babyface Kevin Owens. That's something we all wanted for Christmas, I'm pretty sure. And now if he gives us super despicable Miz versus babyface Daniel Bryan, but not only that, but like American Dragon Daniel Bryan. I mean, can he feud with Braun Strowman next and get him back to being the most over dude on the entire roster and give him a match with Brock Lesnar and have him win that match, become champion? No, that's probably too far. Yeah, you're probably Shinsuke Nakamura and Cesaro beat Heavy Machinery. Yeah. Oh, I forgot to mention this. Lacey Evans isn't here. She wasn't in Milwaukee. At least if she was, she didn't have a match and she wasn't featured on TV. I don't know if they're trying to be like, hey, you're only allowed to have matches and be on screen doing stuff when we're south of the Mason-Dixon line where everybody loves you because you're so Southern. It's weird to be like, hey, everybody, don't you love the sassy Southern Belle in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, which is not south. It is cold here. It's not south. So I'm wondering if that was the reason they kept her off TV, because who knows what this crowd would have reacted to if she was out here being like, boy, the South is so great. I sure do loves me some chitlins. I don't know what they would have done. Here's what they did with Heavy Machinery. They wore cheese heads in the shape of top hats to the ring. And everybody loved that. They were like, this is great. We love these guys. They super love Otis. They were chanting, we want Otis to be in the tag match. That was good. It was a lot of fun. Everyone really loves when Cesaro kicks Otis in the belly and he makes his belly gyrate, and everybody loves that so much. And then they lose. Heavy Machinery loses. Tucker gets a Kinshasa right under the chin, so I hope he's okay. Again, I appreciate they're planning on doing a Braun Strowman versus Shinsuke Nakamura match. Just have him wrestle anybody, man. He was supposed to have a title program with Mustafa Ali, and you put that on the friggin' back burner. I don't know. It's the Intercontinental Championship. It should be defended at literally every pay-per-view. It's the IC Championship. It is the work rate belt. It is the belt we want to see good wrestlers have and compete for, not shunted off to the side. Anywho, Kofi Kingston had a match with King Corbin. Is all right. Match was a DQ. Ended up with a DQ, and Kofi Kingston and Corbin were fighting, but then Big E and Drew are getting into it on the backs. Dolph, whatever. Getting to it on the outside, they mentioned there was one thing that was funny. It was like Robert Roode's still injured from that time where remember that time where Roman Reigns got so mad at Robert Roode that he punched him so hard that he got a wellness violation. Remember that? Well, they don't. They think he's just hurt. They're not doing the. They're not telling us what actually happened. Robert Roode got popped for a wellness violation. He's suspended for 30 days. That's what actually happened. But they're telling us that Roman Reigns beat him up so bad and he's out for a month. Anywho, they're gonna kick Ziggler out, and Ziggler doesn't want to go out. Oh, also there's all this little security around the ring because who knows if Roman Reigns is going to be here. At one point during the night, I skipped this part because I forgot about it until right now. Corbin and Ziggler go into the locker room, and all of their security is like laid out, like oh somebody showed up and beat up all of our security guys, but not all of them, because there was still a bunch more that came out to the ring for this match. I forget exactly why they did a disqualification between Corbin and Kofi Kingston singles match, but then Big E did his best Teddy Long impersonation and said, "You guys want to fight, sucker? Then we're gonna have a tag match." And I guess he can make a match now. Big E's got that power. Feel the power. Don't you dare be sour, except on Sour Graps. And then they restarted it as a tag match, but that didn't last very long. Big E got a super kick on the outside, which put him down for way too long because uh, Kofi Kingston's getting beat up by Baron Corbin, and Ziggler goes under the ring and pulls out the dog chain thing and a can of dog food, and they hook up Kofi to the ring post like they did to Roman Reigns last week. And Big E tries to come back and help after being laid out for what seemed like minutes from a single super kick. And guess who's there? The Revival show up because they don't like Big E, and they give him the Shatter Machine on the outside, and they're gonna put dog food over Kofi Kingston. Oh no! Look out! Look out! They're gonna do it. And then Roman Reigns shows up, and he punches all of the security putties in the face, and then he's gonna do something bad to Baron Corbin. He's going to do something bad to him. He's got the scepter and he's got the dog food. Oh, no. So Corbin runs away. Big E comes to and chases off the Revival. And then there's a ladder that got set up somewhere. I must have like blacked out when that happened. And Roman Reigns and Ziggler go up to the top of the ladder. And Roman gently choke slams Dolph Ziggler off of the 12-foot ladder through the announce table. And this is when Michael Cole absolutely goes nuts with like, oh my God, it's a ladder and it's a table. Also chairs, they're all legal. What's going to happen on Sunday? Tables and ladders and chairs are legal. Chairs and ladders and tables are legal. Ladders and chairs and tables are legal. So I wonder if they're legal. Anyway, so Roman Reigns got his revenge tonight. So Baron Corbin's winning on Sunday. Just kidding. I don't know. I will say the match I'm looking forward to on Sunday the most, by far, is Buddy Murphy and Aleister Black, which is not involving any tables or whatever. It's just two great wrestlers, hopefully getting 11 minutes to really shine and go crazy. It'll be on the pre-show and been given 8 minutes, and they'll probably ask them to do a lot of rest holds. The second most looked forward to match for me is the ladder match between New Day and the Revival, because I know it's going to be great because these guys can only have great matches with each other, especially when you add a ladder into the mix. It's going to be great. Third most looked forward to match has got to be the women's tag title, TLC. Becky and Charlotte versus Asuka and Kairi Sane. I think you got to keep the belts on Asuka and Kairi for a while. Further the rift between Charlotte and Becky, but also Becky just wants to beat Asuka, and she will. I think she wants to prove that Asuka beating her last Royal Rumble was a fluke. So she's going to challenge Asuka to a match. She's going to challenge Asuka to a title match at Royal Rumble, and maybe let Asuka pick the stipulation or something because she wants the match so bad. I think that's probably where this is going. Everything else on the card, with the possible exception of the Viking Raiders tag title open challenge. If it's the OC, I could not care less about this match. Street Profits, they kind of got blitzed last time on Monday, so I don't know. That's going to be great. It needs to be the AOP. It has to. AOP should answer the open challenge from the Viking Raiders. They should win the match. And they should hold those titles until Mania. I think that you can do a really great feud for months of AOP and Seth Rollins versus Kevin Owens, who has roped in the Viking Raiders because the Viking Raiders hate AOP so much for taking their tag titles. I think that's an amazing feud with 6 really, really great talents. you got Owens and Seth who hate each other's guts, and each of them has two big bruisers as backup who hate each other's guts. I think that's an amazing feud. I don't know why you wouldn't do it, because you'd have to be irretrievably incompetent to not do it. So that means they're not gonna do it. But yeah, I couldn't care less about Corbin and Roman Reigns. Don't care. Don't care. Don't care. Don't care. Is there a U.S. title match at TLC? Is there? I don't know. Oh yeah, Rusev and Bobby Lashley in a tables match. Yikes. This thing, because it still keeps doing millions of views on YouTube, so which is just going to prove to the crazy old man that this is awesome. Everybody loves the terrible soap opera, so they're going to keep this going forever. But here's the deal. Good old Phil Brooks, CM Punk, had a great pitch for what they should do with this terrible storyline that would actually make it plausible and maybe fun. They should have Bobby get sick of Lana in 2 weeks after marrying her, because she's impossible to live with. Now, is that misogynistic? No, because I think we all know who Lana is. Lana is this person, not women. But it could tread very carefully. Don't make it be all women love to shop and all women are naggers, like to nag their man. I said naggers, by the way. Nagging their men, all that kind of stuff. Make it about how Lana is all of these things. And that's fine, because we've seen evidence of that. Anyway, so Bobby Lashley wants to leave Lana, and Rusev's like, I told her she was crazy. And so they become very good friends. And then Lana, this is according to CM Punk, should rope in some other tag team. I don't know who it would be. The OC? Maybe if AJ's wrapped up with Randy Orton, it would make sense. Anywho, so Gallows and Anderson also hate Lana after she's their manager for a month. They hate her. So what CM Punk is pitching is Lashley and Rusev, who are now the best of friends because they have that familiar thing that they both hate Lana. There's a tag team versus Lana. No, it's not versus Lana. Versus Gallows and Anderson, with Lana suspended over the ring in a shark cage. Loser has to keep Lana as their manager. That was his booking, and I was like, great, somebody give Phil the pencil. This guy's got some great ideas, because that would actually at least make it redeemable in some way. Might be kind of fun to watch. Maybe. Man, I don't even know. Are there any other matches that have been announced for TLC? And this to think that it gets the damn name for the pay-per-view from the brilliance of the Hardy Boys and Edge and Christian and the Dudley Boys 20 years ago, inventing the art form that is a TLC match. And now it's here's this crap we're doing as a speed bump between Survivor Series and the Royal Rumble. Hope you like it. Because that's the business model now. We don't have to do anything important on big shows. There are no such thing as pay-per-views now. It's just hey, we got your money from the network because we know you bought it, because then you get to watch WrestleMania and the Royal Rumble for free. So even if you only buy it for those things, we got your money. Watch it if you feel like it. If you don't, who cares? And so they're not going to give you anything decent. I don't know. I do know that Buddy Murphy and Aleister Black should be the match of the night and a low-key challenger for match of the year if they actually give them the proper amount of time and let them really go. Do I expect them to give them the proper amount of time and let them really go? No, because as I said, they are irretrievably incompetent. And that's why I always say, because this is Sour Graps, I have been Alex Pawlowski. And before I say my catchphrase, I'm going to do another one of these, a bonus, after TLC. Maybe I'll keep it short and just talk about not like bit by bit, but just like this happened, this is why that sucks, this happened, this is why that was good, and that's it. And I'll do a little bonus thing after TLC because I'm not on the actual post show. Sean got a new toy to play with, a new fun person to talk to, and Dave Schilling, who really knows his stuff. Like he used to write for them and for WWE, and he got out because it was so bad there. So he knows what he's talking about. So he's going to talk to him about it. And I get to have my own show, and I get to do whatever I want. So I'm going to talk to you guys on Sunday. Anyway, I've been Alex Pawlowski. This has been Sour Graps. And, oh, God, buy my merch. Everything sucks.